I'm a private investigator. I've got this envelope that says Super Mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois.
One way that the government always does it is to go and investigate people around her, and that's what they're doing here.
Tiffany Henyard is no stranger to controversy, but lately things have gotten wild. If you think you've seen everything from small town politics, well, Dolton's Mayor Tiffany Henyard is here to prove you wrong. She's been making headlines, and it's not for her governance skills. The residents of Dolton are fed up, and now they're openly calling for her resignation. What does she do in response? Oh, just mocks them on live TV, adding fuel to the already raging fire. So how did it all get this messy? Buckle up, because we're diving into the dramatic showdown that has everyone in town talking and wondering what on earth Tiffany Henyard will do next.
So that's one of the reasons I won't know when we go through our board packets. It's like, some of this stuff, it's like you don't know exactly what it's for, and then when you ask a question, there's no answer.
To picture this, Dolton, a quiet village in Illinois, has turned into a political battlefield. So residents are showing up to board meetings in droves, booing and jeering at their mayor. And Henyard, instead of addressing their concerns, she strolls in fashionably late, grabs a microphone, and delivers one of the most confrontational speeches of her career. She's been dubbed everything from a dictator to the super mayor, but now the crowd has turned, and her dramatic entrance isn't winning any points. At a recent meeting held at the Park District, because the usual village hall couldn't accommodate the crowds, Henyard was greeted with a storm of boos as she tried to assert her dominance. I am the mayor of the village. IMC want a real mayor, a real boss in the building, she dramatically proclaimed as if anyone needed a reminder. But instead of controlling the room, her attempt to speak was met with even louder jeers. So the residents had clearly had enough.
Terminate his employment. I don't believe that is legally correct. That's just not the way municipalities operate, right?
Let's rewind a bit to understand why things have gotten so out of control. Henyard's leadership has always been divisive, but recently, it's been going from bad to worse. She's embroiled in multiple scandals, and her public appearances have done nothing to calm the storm. Take her latest attempt to hold a separate board meeting at Village Hall, a move that most saw as yet another power play. The only problem, there weren't enough trustees present and she was forced to cancel it. Talk about embarrassing. So what did she do next? She drove down the road to the actual meeting, organized by the rest of the trustees, but by then the damage was done. When she walked in late, the crowd turned against her even more, and let's just say her presence wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms. Henyard, in her typical fashion, didn't back down. She clutched the microphone, determined to make her point. But after just 7 awkward minutes of trying to speak over the boos and jeers, she finally gave up and left the building. The scene was chaotic, with residents even turning their backs to her in protest. It was a clear sign that the people of Dolton are done with her antics.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor and people supervisor.
So what's even more surprising is that despite the legal and public backlash, Henyard's core group of supporters remains vocal. They've been spotted at every meeting, defending her actions and claiming that the entire controversy is politically motivated. Some of these devoted fans insist that the accusations against Henyard are being exaggerated by trustees who have personal grudges. So while it's hard to gauge how much of the community still stands by her, this unwavering loyalty only adds fuel to the fire, further dividing in our fractured village.
Mr. Lacey is absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit your guilt first.
So what's behind all this drama? Well, Henyard's leadership style has been described as autocratic, with critics accusing her of running the village like her own personal fiefdom. And it's not just the residents who are fed up, many of her fellow trustees have had enough too. Henyard has faced allegations of misusing taxpayer money, questionable appointments to key government positions, and outright defiance of legal procedures. She's been accused of appointing her close allies, people with personal connections to her, to top positions like police chief, village attorney, and village administrator without getting approval from the board of trustees. And here's the kicker, a Cook County judge ruled that her appointments were illegal. Ouch. The trustees have been fighting back, filing lawsuits and getting court orders to stop Henyard's overreach. So the legal battle has turned the small town into a political war zone, and Henyard is at the center of it all.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there won't be anything, it'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
But does Tiffany Henyard care? Not one bit if her recent actions are anything to go by. Even after being slapped with a restraining order by the court, barring her from making certain appointments without trustee approval, she's continued to act like she's untouchable. And that's not just speculation. According to reports, she's ignored court rulings and continued to surround herself with a close-knit group of loyalists who seem to have no problem flouting the law alongside her. It's like she's daring the court to take action against her, and honestly, it feels like only a matter of time before the situation blows up even more. But what's the end game here? Is Henyard really willing to risk jail time to maintain her grip on power?
Of court. The judge today declining to hold her in contempt, but did warn her that if she did not follow the ruling, he would.
Her behavior at the recent board meeting suggests that she's not backing down anytime soon. In fact, it almost seems like she thrives on the chaos. After being booed out of the meeting, she didn't apologize or even acknowledge the residents' frustrations. Instead, she lashed out, accusing the trustees of corruption and claiming that they were trying to undermine her leadership. Another thing I want you to understand about the Board of Trustees is they are all corrupt. Every last one of them up here is corrupt, she said before storming out. It's the kind of statement that might have worked in the past, but with the growing list of legal trouble she's facing, it just rings hollow now. Henyard has framed herself as a victim of a political smear campaign, but it's hard to see how that narrative holds up when there's so much evidence piling up against her.
Sometimes we get invoices, but those invoices lead to more questions, and sometimes we don't get answers to those questions. And so it's not about clickbait, it's about just making sure the right thing is.
Let's talk about those legal challenges for a minute. Henyard is currently under investigation by the FBI. The allegations are serious. We're talking about accusations of bribery, financial mismanagement, and even the misuse of public funds for personal expenses. According to some reports, Henyard used village funds to pay for lavish vacations and luxury purchases, all while the village's finances are in shambles. It's no wonder the residents are angry. And then there's the issue of her appointments. Henyard has tried to install close associates, some of whom were reportedly involved in shady dealings, into key positions in the village government, bypassing the legal requirement for board approval. This has led to a flurry of lawsuits from the trustees, who argue that Henyard's actions are not just illegal, but downright dangerous for the future of Dolton.
I'm sure you guys had an awesome time on the backs of taxpayers, but what do we gain from any of these trips? We gain nothing.
The chaos doesn't stop there. Residents and even some former allies are now voicing concerns over rumors that Henyard has allegedly diverted funds from local community programs to support her personal projects. While there isn't concrete evidence yet, people in Dolton are starting to speculate that Henyard's questionable financial dealings extend beyond the alleged luxury vacations. The implications of these actions could be devastating for the village, which has already faced significant budget cuts. As Henyard's reputation continues to unravel, residents are growing more skeptical of her leadership, with many calling for an independent audit of the village's finances.
No reason for anyone from a township to go to a mayor's conference. A mayor's conference is a mayor's conference for mayors.
To make matters worse, the town hall's discontent isn't just confined to Dolton. Neighboring Thornton Township has also been dragged into Henyard's controversies. Sources say Henyard, who also holds a leadership role there, has pushed policies that residents claim benefit her personal circle rather than the wider community. As her influence extends across both jurisdictions, concerns are mounting that Henyard's leadership is putting more than just Dolton at risk. So legal battles might only be the beginning, as township officials reportedly consider their own investigations into Henyard's conduct. It seems that Henyard's troubles are spreading like wildfire, with no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993.
And it's not just the trustees who are speaking out. Residents have taken to social media to express their frustration with the mayor. And the comments are brutal. One resident commented, "Tiffany always has to get the last word. And it's usually stupid. She has zero shame." Another wrote, "Tiffany criticizes others, but she does not like to be criticized by others. So I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining." It's clear that the people of Dolton are fed up and they're sigh about letting Henyard know how they feel. And yet, despite all the criticism, Henyard continues to act like she's invincible. Her defiance in the face of overwhelming public disapproval is almost impressive, if not incredibly reckless.
Who would make a one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon? And the main thing is, what is it?
So where does this leave Henyard? Well, her position is looking more and more precarious by the day. The court cases are piling up, the FBI investigation is looming, and her support base is shrinking fast. Even some of her closest allies are reportedly starting to distance themselves from her. And yet Henyard seems determined to hold on to power no matter the cost. At this point, it feels like she's playing a dangerous game of chicken with the legal system, daring the courts to take action against her. But with federal subpoenas being served and the possibility of criminal charges on the horizon, it's hard to see how she can keep this up for much longer.
Last month, the judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from trustees.
The next few weeks will be critical for Tiffany Henyard's future. Will she continue to defy the court orders and risk jail time? Or will she finally step down and face the consequences of her actions? It's anyone's guess at this point. But one thing's for sure, the drama in Dolton is far from over. Henyard's story is like a slow-motion train wreck you can't look away. But you know it's not going to end well. And with the FBI breathing down her neck, the stakes couldn't be higher. So what's next for Dolton's embattled mayor? Will the ongoing investigations uncover even more dirt, or will she somehow manage to dodge the fallout? And more importantly, how long can she keep mocking and humiliating the very people she's supposed to serve before it all comes crashing down? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding saga. Trust us, you won't want to miss what happens next in this political thriller.